Hello and welcome back, everybody. We are at the grand finals of our MTG Paper Legacy Season 4 Invitational. I am PresBOTW, joined here in the booth by Mia and also by Doc DeLeo for the final round.
Yo.
How has it been going today?
So we've had the upset of the century. Malfi's come in and just cruise through the lower bracket into the finals here. And Malfi came prepared for the combo matchup. The unfair side of Legacy, with a little bit of his own flavor of unfair.
Yeah.
This food chain deck has been so effective at what it does, as well as the fact that just being able to play with these very strong, effective sideboard slots are just so good.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, and the same hate that can come in against the combo matchup previously, where we did the sneak and show, can also play here, with the exception of Containment Priest. Now, when it comes to this deck list, this isn't the what's called the Green Sun Zenith version.
This
That version was the Green White Reclaimer list.
this one does have Green Sun Zenith in it.
Oh, this is the Green Sun Zenith. So this is the
Yeah,
Green
this
Sun.
is this is Green White Reclaimer with a black splash and Urza Saga, and
So
it's
even in that
hella
case,
good.
the Containment Priest is very valid here, there because of that Green Sun Zenith package that can basically act as the tutor. I really like the fact that this deck can go long, but at the same time, I really don't think Malfi's long game will be as effective when we're talking about this. Malfi coming in here highly favored, though, because of the fact that just taking out left and right players, Dalibor had a little bit time to cool off, relax, but I don't know. Oh, I don't know which way it's gonna go.
Yeah, exactly. And this is gonna be wild. We have seen this deck be very good. It's played on stream. It's won many championships. This deck just goes, and it's actually very similar in spirit to the deck Champagne won the last Invitational with.
Yeah, it is. It can't have that like insane start. I mean, it technically can with a double Mox Diamond start to find the dark depths, but it's one of those things that it's very hard to do. So, so looking at the combo game between the two players, who has the faster combo?
Malfi, absolutely.
Okay, who has the easiest to protect combo?
I would say that the amount of protection that this Reclaimer build has, by virtue of Sajiri's step, by virtue of multiple Knight of the Reliquaries, Elvish Reclaimers, also with Sylvan Safekeeper, I think it has protection there. And I also just want to stress this is only a combo deck if you're trying to assemble a Merit Lage. Otherwise, this is just a fair green white beat you to death with a black splash.
Yep, yep. I agree. When we talk about this combo is very protected. It doesn't use the stack. It's very effective at what it does. The thing is, when I look at both of these decks, the variable here once again is that bloody Caracas. That Caracas put in so much work this last game, and because of that, I really do think that that Caracas might be one of those role players here.
Yeah.
All right.
So it looks like both players are keeping their sevens, and Dalibor's just going to be on the play. So his seed did carry through to this final match here. Even then, Dalibor's also third seed, Malfi's 13th seed. So regardless of circumstance, interesting. So we're just going to fetch and then just force of will the Greensun Zenith right away.
Yeah.
Huh.
So I actually like this, and not enough people do this, I believe. Uh, the matchup is all about who has the mana advantage in this
Yeah.
case. You
The
know
other
that
thing
you're
too,
both fair decks.
yeah. Another thing as well, pitching the Miss Hollow is a free pitch.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. In this one, and this is one of the few decks that I would say you can aggressively force a will in.
Yeah.
So because of the fact that you can aggressively force a will if you have a free card to pitch like this, I do like taking that out because this is going to be a close game, of pretty much who has the what's called the mana advantage early and who can get their eventual engine going. With the fact that Malfi is starting off an island and not turn one birds, that already puts him behind if this Green Sun Zenith resolves.
Yeah, exactly.
And yet we see Dalbor here sitting, and they're just like, I probably had a turn three mana play, but not a 2 mana play. Yes, that's it.
Urza's
Now
Saga,
this is what I was talking about. Urza's Saga is
pass.
not a stable mana source.
No.
Because it's not a stable mana source, you cannot effectively count it as a effective land drop. If
That
this is
being
going to be your
said, though, I do think that this is actually not a bad shell for Saga in. Just as a one of, it's something that's fine. And honestly, as long as this goes and gets either a Mox Diamond or a Shadow Spear or what the hell is the other card there? Pithing Needle, like that could be enough. Although the Pithing Needle's not very good in this matchup. But
Yeah, but that's what we're talking about with the way that Dalibor was just like looking at that Force of Will on the Green Sun Zenith. If Dalibor doesn't have a third land drop here, this Urza Saga is going to just sacrifice and put him back in time walking back 2 turns.
yeah,
I
which
mean,
would be
it's
really bad.
I mean, you can't get a Mox Diamond because you don't have a land in hand to pitch for it. Otherwise, you'd have played it, and you don't have a Empathy Needle. It's just like eh. Like, I mean, if that being said, if Malfi doesn't fetch in response to the trigger resolving, well, you can basically Stone Rain him.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. Yeah, Dalibor looks like he's deep in the tank right now. So he does have another land.
Okay, that's
And
something at least.
pardon me. I actually think, given this particular scenario that you're in, I actually really like, depending on what Dalibor has in hand, I almost just like making 2 Constructs, grabbing a Shadow Spear, and then just crashing for 7.
Yeah, I like that as well. Yeah, I really like that. Like that gives you an aggro plan. It doesn't allow Malfi to convert anything. I mean, the sneaky snow stakes take a little bit of time to get online, but it's yeah, it's definitely a plan, and
Yeah,
those things will eventually grow to be a large. Not really though. This is the only Urza Saga in the deck.
yeah. It's only a one of Saga. And the other thing here as well is that if Malfi fetches up basic Forest here, then I think you need to be very concerned about something. But it looks like we're just going to go play a Knight of the Reliquary here, which I actually like a lot. It being a 4/4 is pretty big. We're going to brainstorm in response. Hmm. Interesting.
This is, I really. Are you gonna pick a fight over this, or are you gonna just look for something like a sneaky snow stake that would just put
I
it in
would look
front
for
of it?
some form of removal here. You are in a relatively not bad position at the moment. Grabs Tundra, Swords to Plowshares. Yeah, I like that a lot.
So importantly, this is a wasteland matchup. There are 3 wastelands in Dalavor's deck. So
Yeah.
it is possible to get wastelanded in this matchup. So you got the players have to be conscious of that. And did Malfi miss another land drop or oh no, just end step new swords.
Yeah. Yeah, that was on end step. So he cracked the fetch land and then he before tried to draw the second card and then remembered, "Oh, I have to shuffle my deck because the Tundra was on top." So here we go. We have the snow forest now. So now the snow snakes are very live, given that you only need one more snow source other than the snake itself in order to turn them into death touchers. We got 3. This is a Murktide region
Ooh.
early, delving away everything. And what exactly are we getting here? A
Yeah, we had
6/6 for
brainstorm.
3 mana. Not
We
bad.
had brainstorm, force of will, and swords of plowshares. That's not too
Yeah.
bad. That's a
No.
solid
And
clock.
we also have a Miss Hologriffin in exile still.
I like the fact that this can delve away your combo pieces if they get counterspell, so that way they can be refueled for later.
Yeah.
Yeah, Murktide
Draw.
region is very good, and I need to go pick up a second one very soon.
Trigger the saga. So, given that you only have the one, I'm not a fan of actually turning this into constructs here. I'd rather just float a mana and then go and
I would agree
grab
with that.
the a card. Probably. Oh,
Ooh, crop rotation away.
Yeah, so trigger on the stack, float a mana, crop rotation away the Urza Saga. I like this a lot. This is converting that saga into something really good because Dalabor's also going to be able to go and fetch up the artifact as well. Ooh, that was sweet.
Yeah,
And we still have a colorless mana floating.
I don't mind that at all because it still allows you to play a 3 mana card this turn. The fact that the Urza Saga sacrifices a main phase, so you can float mana and then use it to play a sorcery speed, creature or spell is just so good. Could you imagine how
Yeah.
much worse Urza Saga would be if it sacrificed an upkeep?
Oh man, it would be like the fact as well that you can actually wait until you draw a card to find out if it's like, okay, I drew something relevant. You can actually decide whether making the construct or doing something else is more value.
Yeah, exactly. I really do think it's going to be it's one of those cards that the simple saga mechanic plus it all, I think Urza Saga is going to be a mainstay of Legacy for a while, unless they like
I
ban
agree.
it or something like that.
Yeah, the card is very powerful. I don't think it's ban worthy at all.
Oh god, no.
Honestly, there's a
We have
lot of cards that
Wasteland.
just completely hose it.
Yeah, we have Wasteland. It's like
Yeah.
the one of the worst feelings ever is like them wastelanding your one land that you're gonna use to activate it, and now you can't even activate it.
Yeah.
And you're just like, "Oh, I missed a land drop, and now when I go down another land drop, and now my other land drop I have is Urza Saga, which is also gonna go away eventually." That just feels terrible.
Yeah. Still deep in the tank though on what to get off of this crop rotation. Dalibor playing very methodically here right now. So again, Dalibor is also fresh off of a very long break. So
I really do like going for the combo in this situation. Simply
yeah,
because of the fact that if you can Dark Depths, like, Meow, it also okay, we got Mox Diamond, where we
yeah.
pitching
So
the
grab the
diamond.
Mox Diamond off of the saga. So he's gonna have to discard a land to it.
What's the discard? The planes, the basic planes
Basic
in the matchup?
plains.
I swear, Dalivor.
That's 3 mana. What are we gonna get here?
Hmm.
Ramaneth Excavator. This will allow
Ooh,
him to replay the saga.
the saga. Okay, okay, I
That's
like
pretty
this
gross.
circus of value. See, this is my type of magic here. This is the type of shit I like to do. Now, if we had like an exploration on board or something like that, give me a
Oh
little
wow.
wasteland action. Oh yeah, oh
Getting the
yeah.
reclaimer out too. Oh
X
man,
gonna give it
Dalibor is
to you.
just set right up.
X
That
gonna
being
give it to
said
you.
though, I have a feeling Malfi has the potential to just go here.
Oh yeah, of course.
Again, there are no Force of Wills in this deck, and Dalibor only has access to a single colorless mana.
Okay. Okay, I like this little value pile that Dalibor has assembled. This is pretty nice.
Gets
Like,
the third Snowland, so the snakes are on.
welcome to the circus of value.
Yep. This also gives him the mana he needs to escape an Uro if need be as well.
Yeah.
So here's the question: is if this is a food chain, I imagine you just crash with the Murktide region, and then do you immediately exile it to go start chaining everything?
I mean, you can, but like at this point, a 6/6 beater in the air is going to. I mean, your opponent can just do this thing where it makes a construct every like
Smash.
other turn, but by that time they'll just be dead by the Murktide region to get
Yeah.
there.
Oh, looks like he changed his mind. Okay.
Bro, solid.
Yep.
Yeah, like
Draw a card.
I really do think you don't want to.
Puts a Caracas in off of it.
Oh, oh, that's dirty.
Oh.
Oh, do it, do it. Oh,
Decides to
come
just let
on.
it go. Interesting. Huh.
That's the exile pile.
Yep. Yeah, this Uro's not escaping anytime soon and not attacking. Huh.
Not attacking? What? I would 100% get in there. Just try to kill your opponent.
Unless he's worried about an instant speed Merit Lage, but A, there's no mana, and B, the Elvish Reclaimer is also summoning sick at that point.
Yeah. No, I think that was missed damage.
Yeah,
I think that was
I'd
missed
say so too,
damage,
but we'll see if it
and
matters here. Malfi's very tired. He's been playing for 8.5 hours.
you gotta be thinking about that. Fatigue setting in with these players. You have one player coming in pretty fresh, one player just absolutely crushing it though.
Yeah.
Who has the
Eh,
advantage here?
exactly. And that's just it too, is that, every single one of our invitationals, all four of them, we've had someone take from the lower bracket and make a run all the way up to the finals that lost in round one. That person doesn't get a break relative to, what Dalibor had at all in this entire tournament. Just the normal 10-minute breaks we get every so often. So we're floating 3 mana here, it looks like.
Knight.
Putting in a Knight of the Reliquary. Okay.
See, this Caracas is not 100% safe at all though. This Knight of the
No.
Reliquary can just go find a wasteland and go lol 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 lol, kill your Caracas, and then kill you.
Yeah. That being
So
said, we do have a window right now. Oh
hey
god.
yo,
Hey, this is rough.
do we have?
Cast it. Exiles Murktide Regent. Goes and gets Miss Hollow.
Yeah.
Infinite Storm. Cast
Oh,
Ballista.
just has
Oh,
the walking
Malfi
ballista.
takes game one.
Has the walking ballista. Just goes. I'm just gonna show it to you. Just machine gun you down, homie. Kill your board
Whoa.
first. Laser beam you to the face. Yeah, that was brutal. That was absolutely brutal. And Malfi on the process to on the track to a bracket reset here.
Yeah.
This is a very strong game one.
No, and that
So
was excellently well played. And even then, Malfi saying like, "I'm 8.5 hours in. I haven't had a real break compared to everyone else. I can still do this." But that I think is also, as you asked at the beginning of the match, the combo explosiveness that Malfi has is just faster than what Dalibor
mhm.
has.
Yep.
And with
Just
Dalibor not having access to permission like Force of Will, it kind of gives Malfi just a free pass to just, oh, okay, let's go.
yeah, and I will say a lot of this came down to that force Greenstone Zenith. There was a couple of
Yeah.
turns Dalibor stumbled with mana, didn't have like the most perfect play. Eventually got that saga on play. Got just started putting together this little circus of value, but then just died to the combo.
Yeah, that was phenomenally well done by Malfi there. And then Dalibor, I think, still had very, very good play trying to get out of there. But man, that was yeah, that was a tight game. And yeah, that's actually a good point, Balls of Steel there. Malfi always goes on about his 22nd place at Eternal Weekend. They're playing Mud with Legacy. Yeah, 13 hours straight. This is just another day in the office.
Okay, so next in person Eternal Magic. See Malfi there. Eternal weekend.
Yep. So anyway, sideboards here for Dalibor. We got one Tabernacle at Pendrell Vale, one Soul Guide Lantern, 3 copies of Thoughtseize, 2 Veil of Summer, one Collector Oof, 2 copies of Choke, 2 Endurance, one Night of Autumn, and 2 Plague Engineer. What are your thoughts
Okay.
here?
Okay. So I do love the choke. Just because choke it's just always good against blue decks. You're just gonna slam it at the most opportune time and just try and ride it to victory, just like a back to basics or anything like that. I do like choke in this. I also like the plague engineers because of the fact that you really just want to shut down that like early game like value train of like the Ice Fang Codals and all that sort of stuff. And plague engineer just properly swings through everything. But personally, the biggest thing that I'm gonna be worried about is the Caracas and these containment priests and stuff like that, because there's not a lot of removal left in this. I could see the tabernacle when it came to it, but I just it's just too much. I would just rather have chokes, maybe some plague engineers, and call it good. I don't want to. I also
Yeah,
don't want to bring in the collector roof for the walking ballista. That just is too niche.
yeah. I actually like endurance as well, being able to hit Uro. You know, being able to get rid of the graveyard a little bit because Uro is very good in this deck.
Yeah, and it does pad your life total over the what's we call it over the
Merit
20
Lage.
the merit age mark. So because of that, like I could see that. I could definitely see that. The problem is that like endurance is just gonna trade down with an Ice Fang Coatl. You can't like effectively leverage it.
Yeah,
But my question is, are you cutting the abrupt decays?
that's the question.
Do you I
If
think
if I don't know if I would, just because that it's an uncounterable way to deal with a food chain that you can stop, like interrupt a combo as you're going off.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just like, what do you cut here? Do you cut like the Scrib Ranger? Do you cut the Ramming Up Excavator? Do you not want to go as long? Do you want to go for more combo? Like it's very when those tight slots. Like things like Maze of It, I don't think you really require.
No, this deck goes so wide. I don't think the maze is very good, honestly.
All right,
But I could be wrong.
let's take a look at Malfi's sideboard here. We got two Carpet of Flowers, two Veils of Summer, one Collector Roof, one Flusterstorm, one Meddling Mage, one Sylvan Library, two Containment Priests, two Endurance, one Foundation Breaker, one Peacekeeper, and a Solitude. What are you liking here?
So in this particular matchup here, I don't think the Peacekeeper is quite what exactly I'd want. I really like Endurances in this matchup just because that it's able to shrink both Knight of the Reliquary and Elvish Reclaimer, which could be potentially very good. Um I don't know. I think Containment Priest is pretty good, but I'm also not super high on that card in this matchup. Just
Yeah.
given that it stops literally Greenstone Zenith, but nothing else.
I mean, yeah, but Green Sun Zenith just like ties the whole deck together.
I guess
We saw Malfi aggressively force a will a Green Sun Zenith in game one. I think
that's true.
having the fact that Containment Priest can just blank 4 cards that get recycled into the library upon resolution, I think that's solid play there. The Peacekeeper, I could definitely see that, but, you know, part of your win can be anemic beats. You wanna shut off that win and just force yourself to go all in a combo and force a fight on the stack.
Yeah,
Or
exactly.
in that case, if you're trying to force a fight on the stack, are you bringing in Veils?
You
'Cause
could.
that's gonna win a fight on a stack.
Yeah, my big issue with Veil is Veil stops exactly Abrupt Decay, and that's it. There's no blue cards in Dalabor's deck, and then for the black cards, the Black Splash is basically Abrupt Decay and Plague Engineer, and that's it.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I
Or wait,
do
is there
and then
Thoughtseizes as well? There might be. Yeah, there's 3 copies of Thoughtseize, so it depends on how much you're worried about that. Either
eh,
way, I'm not super high on Thoughtseize here. Looks like Malfi's keeping 6, and Dalibor is in the tank.
I have to say, I also like the Solitude. Solitude just really solid in this deck.
Yeah, just don't hit a Merit Lage with it.
Yeah, that feels a little bit bad, like hitting a Mirror with a Swords of Plowshares. It's
Yeah.
like sometimes it's necessary.
Dalibor's also going to keep 6 and be on the play for this. And of note, if Malfi wins this game, we will have a bracket reset.
Damn. If we have a bracket reset, like oh, like having two invitationals in a row where there's a bracket reset, will be impressive. Like I don't. It's one of those things that you don't really see that often at all when you're talking about a double elimination style tournament because you have so much advantage by just maintaining that winner's bracket streak. But like, you know, miracles do happen. You know, sometimes Jigglypuff wins everything for melee, even at Evo. It happens, dude. So like, you know, you got to do the reset sometimes.
Yep. And we see here Dalibor having 2 fetch lands and not cracking either of them. Gets another fetch
That's kind of
here.
shouting to me crop rotation.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like, that is definitely, like, 100% shouting at me crop rotation, and then trying to see what you can play around. I mean, of course, there's no Elvish Spirit Guides or anything like that to, like, power it out, but there's gotta be something here that you're trying to force action on your opponent's turn, that you wanna sneak around some, Force of Wills.
Yeah. So
That
we're
or
gonna
you're playing
double
around
fetch here.
imaginary stifles.
Yeah, exactly. Double fetch here. Malfi has played his fair share of stifles on stream for us. I will say that.
Yeah, I hate stifles.
Love that card.
I hate it, dude. I
Get
always
good.
get caught by it, and when I play
Get
with it, I
good.
always just it's just always a dead card. I cycled it on Earth one time and got that stifled. I was like, "Really, dude?
Oh, are we just passing back? Oh
No
no.
way. No way."
That was just a hand motion, not necessarily. No, it looks like Dalibor's still thinking about stuff, so he must not have passed yet.
Yeah, there's no way. We're, confirming with the tables
Okay, Field
water.
of the Dead
No, just
pass. That's a pass.
okay, well, Field of the Dead, we wanna talk about, like, perfect late game aim, just inevitability. Field of the Dead is that. It's like,
Yeah,
"Okay, you either have to deal with this now, otherwise I'm gonna kill you,
yeah.
eventually, with
Fetch,
zombies."
fetch. Here we
It's gonna be
go.
a plot
Malfi's
of
a
a bad Walking
17.
Dead episode.
Yeah, and then we got. Oh. Thinking. Thinking.
3 basics in a row, that's Ice Fang Coatl.
Changing his mind on the island. Must need another green source, I would imagine.
I can
So
see
I'd
it.
imagine if he's doing that, he's getting a tropical island here.
Oh, yeah, I could definitely see it. I mean, the white cards in this list are very much like the supporting pieces. This 3 swords of plowshares, 2 prismatic endings, which I would be a little bit surprised if prismatic endings were in the main board.
Yeah. And then we'll see here. This is again on end step. Oh no, this is main phase. Never mind. Oh yeah, that makes sense. This is main phase because Dalibor was on the play 3 lands. Yeah. Never mind.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
dumb.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Only 3 lands and Sylvan Library there. That would be English Legends if I am
Yep. That is indeed
so
English
bold,
Legends.
as well as the fact that as stating that it is the inferior version to the white bordered 5th edition version with the
There you go.
activated ability. That is the
Go.
correct art of Sylvan Library. Don't even at me. That is 100% the correct art. As beautiful as that black border on that English Legends and that really nice old coloring is, 5th edition activate ability is the truth.
There you go. You know what I've done
Uh,
before, Doc? I traded my 5th edition libraries for 4th edition libraries.
of course you did. Of course you did.
They're
Heathen,
older.
heathen. Uh, dude,
Malfi is down to 13. Takes an extra card off that library.
you gotta. Like your opponent's gonna try and kill you in chunks of 20, or actually, no, you got a very
This
effective
game,
mid-range
I
plan
very
here.
highly doubt that the Merit Age will matter, honestly. This is the same Caracas.
Caracas be
Definitely
like,
not going to
"Yo,
matter now.
coach, send me in. Send me in, coach."
Yeah,
Interrupt counter spells and mana source dark rituals.
I do like the
Uh,
Tempest counterspells.
English Legends Sylvan Library is the best, not close. That the misprinted activated ability is just mm, perfect.
Manipulate Fate.
Draw 4 casually.
Let's see if we actually are going to
Hey,
draw
you
four
ain't got
cards here.
permission, homie. What's your permission? Veil? That ain't gonna have anything against it.
Well, it's not going to matter anything here, but, well, it'll cantrip you something, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's
This
draw
hollow.
2 cards. 3 cards. Oh, we're going to see it.
Plating then.
Manipulate Fate. No, we're not going to draw 4 cards. Which means the Eternal Scourge must be in hand.
The Eternal Scourge must be in hand. I agree with that. Just a bunch of words on it. That's my response to Chains and Mephistopheles every single time.
I love that card so much.
Oh, I hate it. It just like I look at it, I'm just like, dude, just pull up the flowchart. Just pull up the flowchart. Like I expect you if you are coming to an event and if you are packing X amount of chains in your main or sideboard, I expect you to know every interaction with that card in Legacy. Because
There you go.
otherwise it's just like, why are you doing this? Are you just doing this for the judge calls?
Don't you worry, Doc. I got you. Although that being
Card.
said, I could brush up on my Chain Sylvan library.
Ugh, ugh, ugh.
I know very well how Chain's Brainstorm works.
I did that. I activated Sylvan Library one time into a change to figure out how it happened. It took myself and the other player. It took the TO and the store judge all pulling it together and having our phones out and pulling up different articles and different everything about how it interacted. And then I eventually like tried to work my way through it and then lost the game and said screw it. Yeah, the answer was, "Wow, that was probably the wrong choice." That was exactly what it is, and then after that, I was like, "Oh, yeah, I am never gonna activate this ever again."
Yeah, there you go. There's certain things just not worth doing into a chains.
No, never. But that being said, we're approaching 4 manas. We got 3 more lands till we hit critical mass.
Yep. So this is just it though, is that with the Knight Online now, Yavimaya, okay. Hmm. So that's big because this allows Knight to sacrifice anything now.
Mm,
That's
you
amazing, Eternal. Please tell
well,
me the
'cause
story about that later.
you have to discard the card, and then if you're doing, like, some sort of reanimator bullshit.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
so
basically alluded, yeah, and that's how I ended up, like, resolving the
Reclaimer.
Sylvan Library was, like, discarding the card and stuff like that. Basically, I was trying to take advantage of it when I got an understanding of it because I had a Mirren on the board. So I was like, I can do some stuff with this." I was incorrect, and then I got smallpoxed away.
There you go. Yeah, so the way that Brainstorm into Chains works, for those who don't know, is you discard a card, then you draw a card, then you discard a card, then you draw a card, then you discard a card, then you draw a card, and then you put 2 cards from your hand back on top.
And then you don't have a hand, and then
Net
you, like,
card
contemplate every
disadvantage of
decision.
6.
Yeah, and then you question every decision you've ever made, and then you wonder why you play this format.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
Pro tip,
you
don't
wonder
ever
why,
cast a Brainstorm into Chains of Mephistopheles.
somebody brought Chains of Mephistopheles to an event.
You know what this kind of makes me think though? I kind of want to build a deck that just flashes in chains.
Anyways, so we do have this Yavimaya uh, that is allowing this Field Dead to tap for green here. I think we're gonna get. Are we gonna get crop rotation or no?
No,
We're just
just
passing.
Yavimaya.
Yeah.
But
Uh, Dalibor, homie, like, hey, you gonna sacrifice this Field Dead now? But
I
like,
don't think he's gonna sack the Field of the Dead. I would be thinking more so that the Windswept Heath would be what you would sack. Because the thing is that if you sack the Windswept Heath to the Knight of the Reliquary using the forest part of it, it will allow you to go grab any land. Oh no, he is doing the field.
Jordan,
Interesting.
if you play Chains in Dead Guy Ale, and you
Oh,
bring that over to the 100K,
Wasteland.
I will gladly play against you.
There we go.
Oh,
Okay, so we got 4 lands in the graveyard and Wastelanded the Tropical Island to pull Malfi off of blue. So,
okay, I like that.
yeah, which is not bad. However, we still have to contend with Food Chain, and we also need to remember that the Eternal Scourge was not exiled to manipulate fate, which is normally a slam dunk.
Yeah, truth, 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 truth. I
So, personally, I would assume that the other cards in
ooh,
hand, Malfi paying
taking
4
another
again.
4.
Ooh,
Malfi has no fear.
Island.
Wasteland this.
I would love to see him go full chain.
I still would
Just
have. I still would rather seen the Wasteland go at the Crocus. Honestly, give yourself the out for the because you already have the Avamaya. You just need the other two pieces. Like, give yourself
Actually,
an out.
I really like hitting the tropical island there because it means that Malfi can't go food chain into Birds of Paradise,
Sure, I'll agree with that.
which is a good way to lose a game.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That is definitely something that can happen. Um, but when we talk about this, so like talk about like one of the pillars of the farm. Oh, yeah, that
Oh, there we go. That'll hit the reclaimer.
yep, and that crisp clean old border. Uh, much recommend and
Yep.
like grab them now before they're like $1 billion. Foils already are.
And then is
So
that just gonna be a pass there? I don't know.
is this knight just gonna go all the
Wow.
way? Because that knight is a 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a 6/6 right now.
Yeah, it is.
Malfi's at
Which,
9.
yeah, there's a fetch land here.
I think I'd
So
rather
that'll put this knight up to a 7. But that being said, though, Malfi does have 3 untapped mana.
Malfi can easily just slam in a sneaky snow snake.
Exactly. And it would have Death Touch, and it would kill this knight, which would be a disaster for Dalibor.
Yeah, that's close. That's definitely close. Uh, the fact that the fact that Knight of the Reliquary is this big of a beater, though, can you really hold that back? Ooh,
Fetching the Dryad
ooh.
Arbor.
Okay, we will put the reminder to the
Yes, reminder that the Dryad Arbor
arbor.
has to stay up front with the creatures.
Yeah, because that is kind of important. We want to make sure that no way.
And with it being fetched on end step, this Dryad Arbor is not summoning sick.
Yep.
Oh, okay. That's one of the lands that we would have needed there in order to try and make this a lethal attack. There we go. Yeah, Dryad Arbor up front. So here we go. This is now a 7/7 Knight of the Reliquary. Attack for 8 here. I like this because if there's no blocks. Oh, flashes in the Kodal off the Karakas
Oh,
because of the
the
Yavimaya.
Avamaya. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's board awareness.
Yeah. Huge.
I'm guessing there's an ETB
Swords
response.
to Plowshares. Okay, so this is So now what this is going to do actually is this is actually going to gain Malfi enough life to survive this attack at 1 life.
It's close, dude.
Yeah, Malfi's going to go up to 10. This is an attack for 8. If he cracks the fetch, then we'll go
Oh,
through. Anonymous,
thank
thank you very much for the 2 gifted subs.
oh, thank you, and welcome to the MTGPL. Our 2 new subs. I don't think any they've come through yet, but yeah, like welcome to the crew, and thanks for continuing to support Eternal Magic. Just
Yep.
trying to keep Legacy alive. It is not a dead format. It's in
Nope.
fact the best format.
Yes, PD Supreme and Claristorix enjoy the new subs. And we're going to get a crop rotation here. Ooh.
Ooh,
Ooh. And okay, so being able to fetch and crop rotate, that is going to put the lands that he needs in the
mhm.
graveyard in order to take that game.
So
So this is going
Dalmor.
to even it up. Ooh.
Okay. Okay. So game 3 to decide the entire thing. I'm down with this. That's
Yeah.
crop rot for lethal. Oh yeah, that's where we wanted to be. We got
Yep.
a game 3. Hey, okay.
So,
So
so of note, if Malfi wins, we get a bracket reset, which means we will play another best of 3 between Malfi and Dalibor. If Dalibor wins, he takes the
it's
whole
over.
event down and he will be our invitational champion. So, this is huge game for Dalibor.
Yeah, this is big. This is really big. I really like so when it comes to this matchup specifically, this is where everything's gonna come down to is player draw. Player
Yeah.
draw because of the fact that with Malfi being able to be on the play to leverage the proactive game plan of go turn 1 bird, turn 2 food chain, kill you. I think it's very, very close.
Yeah. Um, this one could potentially be. I don't know. I just think that being on the play here, if Malfi has a good hand, he could just absolutely blow Dalibor out of the water.
Yeah, I'm fully in agreement, and I really think that it might come down to the fact that Malfi is going to be more aggressively in onto the combo in game 3 on the play, with the fact that knowing that your opponent has no free permission.
Yeah, exactly. And I do also think that, Malfi being able to free pitch for force, right? And
Mhm.
also like via Mist Hologriffin, and also having that force permission, I think is very good. So it
Yeah.
looks like the players are just talking about something right here. Not exactly sure what.
C players isn't much more than A players.
Yeah. And
Uh,
yeah, that is actually a good point there. Just thinking about it, with us moving to top 16, there's actually two additional rounds instead of one, just because there's an extra buy round in there.
yeah, exactly. Hey, but so when we look at this matchup here, I I really, really, really want to see Dalibor be keeping a very aggressive Mox Diamond hand because
I think that would be very
every
good.
single time we've been seeing this, Delaware's been trying to get that turn one mana advantage or that turn one reclaimer, and it just hasn't been able to stick. Or if it did stick, it took over the entire game. I think that's where Dalaware is able to take this entire thing, and it might be that Dalaware might be able to take this entire thing within a first couple of turns if he has a fast enough hand.
Yeah. So it looks like Dalibor is just shuffling up now. Looks like Dalibor did some resideboarding. Malfi was just good to ship it right back.
Yep,
So Malfi
and
will be on the play for this game three.
And if you are just now joining us, this is the finals of the MTGPL Invitational. These players have been playing all day, almost 8+ hours worth of
9 hours
Magic,
now.
9 hours worth of Magic. This has been 3 months in the making. All these players grinding for points. And in fact, this is a double elimination tournament, and it is the finals. If in the case that Malfi takes this, there's a bracket reset. In the case that Dalibor takes it, takes the entire thing down, earned your play set of new bolts, call it good, go home.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And we have the tokens that you get for earning the events. We have Dark Ritual tokens. We have crop rotation tokens, which are new, and then we also have the
The new
uh
bolts are going to be coming out next. Lightning
yes,
bolts.
yeah, bolts as well will be the new one. So you get your choice of that. The winner of this event will get a full play set of those tokens.
Yeah.
That being
Also,
said, the bolts are still a ways out yet.
bolts still require a little bit of time, but lock in your playset early is not bad.
Hmm.
And plus, I mean, you
Looks like
also
both players
lock up.
kept 7.
Okay, okay, we're starting off strong. We got straight up land into birds.
Yep. And the question is do we get basic or non-basic? Yeah, it gets basic here. I like this a lot actually.
Yeah, Oinkster in the chat, I just want to say a wise man once said greatness at any cost. And some people like Mr. Jack Dax like to live by those words. So sometimes you just got to go for it. You got to swing for the fences.
Especially when you're bobbing out Blightsteel Colossus. That's real
Oh yeah.
greatness.
Oh my god. Uh, if you haven't seen this piece of MTG culture, this gem, there was a montage made at some GP called Greatness at Any Cost, and it was people flipping over like Blightsteel Colossus, like the thing that kills them and stuff like that. The commentary is ooh, chef kiss good.
Yeah. So it looks like we're just gonna play another land and pass the turn. So Malfi's
No
holding up
turn to
3
kill.
mana here.
Oh
Thank
hell
you,
yeah.
Mr. Jack Dax, for the link to that video.
That that video is hilarious. I'm gonna cue that up for later.
Yeah. And of note, starting off on a Flagstone's a Trocare, but moving into Yavimaya, that's really good because this allows Dalibor to get double green right now.
Yeah, fixes the mana. Like outside of Mox Diamond, doesn't have you have to worry about your other colors. Like I the thing is, you haven't been proactive at all.
Yeah. Sylvan
Oh,
Library.
here it is
Ooh.
though. This card is baller.
Yeah. This is a
So,
foreign black border Sylvan Library.
oh yeah, you can tell with the color.
Yeah.
Okay. Sneaky
Ice
Snow
Fang
Snake.
Kotal in response. Did we get the force?
I mean, this is a solid force target, especially if you have like a
Absolutely.
free pitch.
Nope.
Like,
We good.
oh no.
That being
And once
said,
again,
though, Malfi does have access to Prismatic Ending.
Dalibor putting that life total dice on there. I
Oh,
think
are we on Death Touch Snakes already?
yep.
Wow.
Also, I come to the realization recently that Birds of Paradise plus Prismatic Ending is a pretty great combination.
Yeah. So this and Malfi said, or Oliver, as he mentioned in commentary in round 5, he was actually toying with the idea and ended up actually adding Birds of Paradise over Noble Hierarch because it actually allows you to cast Prismatic Ending for 4 instead of 3 on top of
So
blocking Merit Lage.
it's so good.
Yeah.
I'm glad I have my what's it called? The Secret Lair Birds of Paradise.
Yeah. And so we're just going to smash for one with the snake, play a second bop, and then pass with a blue open. Or
Okay.
I guess blue and green open because of Yavimaya.
Those basics are a tropical island, a savanna,
And
and
a
a
forest.
forest.
Yeah. So here we go with a thespian stage now. So interestingly, this potentially could just be a combo for Dalibor. If there's a crop rotation, a dark depths. Because you
Yeah,
go tap the flagstones for green, crop rotation away the flagstones, and then you get the dark depths, you float green off of the dark depths, and then pay for the thespian stage to make a copy.
yeah. That is
Crop
oh,
rotation.
we just going now. We're not going
Maybe.
on
We'll
end step
find
or
out
anything
here.
like that.
That being said, with Malfi's 3 flyers on board, I'm not thinking Merit Lage is going to be getting through anytime soon. Unless there is, well, even a Plague Engineer can't hit both,
The Jerry
because
step.
Sneaky Snow Snack is not a burb. And here we go, free Force of Will. Pay 1 life, and then keep the pitched card in your hand. Of
Yep.
note, also a flyer, also blocks Merit Lage.
Yep, but that was still I mean, you still get some value out of it. You don't feel bad getting 2 for 1. So
Yeah,
this turns the normal 2 for 1 or 2 for 2 for the Force of Will pitch, edge, and a crop rotation into a favorable in your side because of the fact that you still get the land no matter what. Like, I
yeah.
like that you could do that with the Yavimaya Flagstones. I have not realized that tech yet, and I really want to try that out.
Yeah, and the other thing here of note too is that Dalibor was actually able to go and grab a scrubland off of the flagstones of Trocaire,
To
being
fix for the
sacrificed to the
mana.
crop rotation, which is actually just fix him on all of his mana. Here we go. Manipulate
Oh.
fate. Uh-oh. Let's see
I'm
here.
in
1,
danger.
2. Come on, Malfi, do it. Do it once for me, please. Please just do it once. No. No. We're not seeing the actual draw 4 cards.
I mean, I don't understand it. Like it's free, but like
Malfi,
maybe
after this is over, please tell me why you don't ever grab the 3rd card.
yeah, seriously. I don't understand it, but like not for me to understand because I don't play this wild deck because I don't feel like playing a random enchantment from Arcanian Masks in Legacy.
Yep. And then we'll see here. So we got a Dryad Arbor. Plague Engineer.
Plague
Okay, so
Engineer.
if he names Bird here, keep that in mind. That is a bingo tick for those who are still keeping track, which he does. Plague Engineer's a 2 for 1 here, which I believe gives me my 3rd bingo now.
Oh, you got another one? Are you just going for a straight blackout?
I'm close. There's a bunch that I can't get, but there's one more I could get that would give me another bingo, which is 3 wastelands in a game.
I mean, it's entirely possible.
I love that. He draws a bird.
Rip, ripperonis.
So of note here, a food chain just starts going off here. Because you
Yeah,
can
a
just
food
exile
chain
the
wins
snow
it.
snack, get 3, cast the Eternal Scourge, and then just go.
Yeah, a food chain. Well, it doesn't exactly win it. It just like puts a bunch of like three flyers into play, which is like really solid.
Yeah,
Uh, and like you can easily die to that because they're 3/3 flyers with vigilance and unkillable and everything.
yeah.
So because of that, like there is some play to get around it. The thing is though, Malfi just needs to like find the food chain. And right now,
Yes,
oh
last garden ham was a food chain. Let's go. So this is going to mean that he's able to go chain here into Eternal Scourge, into Griffin, into Uro. Oh,
we might be getting a bracket reset here.
oh my goodness. Escape Uro. Wow, just from 1 power to a billion. This is 15 power on board now for Malfi in 1 turn. Wow, and
Yeah,
draws
this
a
is
card, gains 3 life. Now he's out of
yeah, and
Mirror
does
range
everything
again.
else. Yeah, because of that. Wow, this might we might be getting a bracket reset.
Yeah. Makes infinite mana. Oh my god, had the ballista on top? Wow. We are getting the
Wow.
bracket reset. Oh, this is so
Okay.
hype.
Okay, we're on the bracket reset. So what we're gonna do is these players need to de-sideboard. They need to do the whole thing like it's from the very beginning. We have a full bracket reset, ladies and gentlemen. We have more legacy action coming right up. We're gonna give these players a short break, and then we are going to get be right back here with our last round. Be right back,
Yes, we
everybody.
will see you guys back in a bit.
Everybody, it is the final round of the MTGPL Season 4 Invitational. My name is Dr. Leo. This is the bracket reset round. Prez, are you hyped?
I am so hyped. I know a lot of people have just been like, "Why are you up there so long?" I love commentating so much. I'm here. I love these success stories about the bracket reset. Oh my god, I am so hyped for this.
So
This could
bracket
go either way though. Oh
bracket
my god,
reset
this is gonna
means
be
that the
sweet.
players are on the dice roll now.
Yes,
They have to win the dice roll in order to guarantee the number one spot. Or the
the
place
play.
on the play. So because of that, both of these players have to have a little bit of luck and then just solid opening hands. Look who we got on the play. Dalibor is gonna be on the play here. So Dalibor on the play again. Let's see if Dalibor can take it down. You know, a little bit on the back foot there. Had some very slow game plays. I think going for the mid-range anemic beats is not the way you want to go in this matchup. I think we're gonna want to go more aggressive for the combo.
Yeah, for sure. I think if you're in Dalibor's position, you're probably going to want to try and force out a Merit Lage early, just because it seems that with the lack of permission-based interaction, I don't know if you can actually keep up with Malfi's combo if he's going for it. Because this is definitely a matchup where Malfi wants to combo more than trying to do a fair mid-range plan.
Yeah, and seeing here, we have a very aggressive start with Mox Diamond pitching a Woodswept Heath. I think we're gonna see some sort of like aggressive turn one play, hopefully. Or okay, Elvish Reclaimer is solid. That's
Yeah.
the card that you really want in this matchup.
Hmm. And then yeah, leaving the other land there, and that's huge because that's one land away from the Elvish Reclaimer being a 3/4 right off the bat. Misty Rainforest fetch. Let's see what we get here. I would imagine this is probably going to be Island again. Yeah, and then
Yeah,
into
just play
Ponder.
it safe. Don't want to
Yeah,
get wastelanded off of it. Engage your sneaky snow snakes. Make them death touch. Definitely just fetching basics here.
yeah, and I think
Also,
that Malfi being able to, I really like Malfi's deck post sideboard in this matchup, and I think that he just wants to play it safe game one.
oh yeah, don't take the risk. Your deck will win the longer the game goes. It has a more definitive win. And so because of that, I really do like Malfi in this like can kind of grind, can kind of just like stabilize a little bit and then just kill you. Like we just saw 15 power out of literally nowhere.
Yeah, which his deck's very good at pulling off, I will say. However, Malfi last game, just I have exactly one card in hand. Guess what? It's the food chain. I need to kill you right away.
Literally the
And
exact
then
perfect card.
same turn, getting the Uro out, drawing the Walking Ballista to just get the kill.
Yeah, exactly. Like it you had Malfi had literally everything in that game three, and it just took one card and one turn, even through the Plague Engineer. We're seeing that like the Plague Engineers coming in, you have to bring in both because you can't leave them on the board with the creature because it's not the creature that matters, it's the CMC that matters.
Yeah, yeah. Chains cards very efficiently. It's a very well named card actually, but yeah,
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know. Just thematically, I really really like the cards. So
Oh yeah, it's a very solid card. I mean, ancient, old tech, and when it
oh,
comes
Dalibor
to
missed a
legacy.
land drop. Oh no.
I mean, it's not the worst feeling. I mean, you got an
Well,
Elvish Reclaimer.
yeah, but you'd still rather not be missing the land drops here. Here we go.
Okay,
Flooded Strand.
Malfi's at least not missing them because uh, Malfi, I think, is even more important to not miss land drops. Dalibor can eventually find stuff and do some stuff with it. Like we can find a
Yeah.
Flagstone's a Trocheer right here.
Yeah, if he gets a Flagstones here, I think this is looking a lot better for him. Yeah, goes and gets Flagstones of Trocaire. Yeah.
Bear,
Good call. Good
yeah,
call.
yeah, Bear. Like I've seen it, homie. I've seen that. I've seen that. Where on stream, it's like, oh, Bear's got a really good matchup coming into this, and just like, how did
Nothing.
you miss turn three land or turn two land?
Yeah.
It's like, come on. Oh my god, we just missed another land drop.
Oh wow.
How many lands are in this deck?
Uh,
Four. 4,
a lot.
8, 12, 16, 20, 24,
28
28
lands.
lands. That's 28 lands in this deck. And you
Yeah,
can't hit
that's
land too?
oh no, this is bad. Now that being said, this Flagstones is gonna cheat and get him the land. However, this is gonna tap him out.
Yeah, could you imagine if there was a stifle?
Oh my god,
Just
that would be
stifle the
such a
trigger?
blowout.
It's like, nah, dog, you ain't doing that. Oh, wow. Build your own turn 3 land drop on build your own turn 2 land drop on turn 3.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
that
finding
Elvish
the
Reclaimer
clip.
did come down on turn 1, which he's lucky about for that one. Okay, gets Yavimaya here and the basic planes. So I actually really like that in terms of trying to color fix.
Yeah, it's
Um,
it's nice for color fixing, but you spent your turn 3 trying to just hit your third land drop.
yeah. Now that being said, though, the Elvish Reclaimer is in swole mode right now.
No, it looks like a full art plains chaotic bear. I don't know from which set, but I think it just
It's one of the Zendikar Battle for Zendikar is what the set that's from. I'm pretty
is
sure.
that just a flagstone just played?
Yeah, interesting. So that sounds to me like he's got Swords to Plowshares handy. Oh, I know why he had to do it. The card's legendary. That's why he had to get rid of it first.
No. He turned the savannah into the flagstones to be able to hit the land drop. And so
That
that
was at the
means
end of the last turn.
but the flagstones wasn't in play. I get what you're saying is that the reason why he did it on this turn is so he could hit his fourth land drop and then to be able to I see that. I see
Yeah.
that. And yeah, we're seeing a sneaky snow stake on end step.
And also with Yavimaya, this will actually allow him to potentially crop rotate this flagstones, which would be huge.
Are we gonna
Is
see
this
an
a food
Uro?
chain?
Is this food chain?
Uro.
No.
Okay.
Uro.
Not bad. Let's see if we can get that Caracas again.
At this point, it's made every single. It's shown up every single game. Nope, just a
Okay. Not a
win swipe.
Caracas. So the Uro bites the dust. Fetch away. We get our land. Malfi not hurting for mana at all in this
No,
match.
of course not. Not gonna
Now,
care.
the interesting thing though is that Malfi is short. Oh, no. He wants to go and grab blue source here, I would imagine, because that Yavimaya allows the planes to tap for green so that way he can escape Uro.
What are we doing?
Prismatic
Oh,
ending
prismatic
on the
ending.
Elvish Reclaimer. Oh, wow.
Oh, are we gonna
We did
Sajiri
have the
step?
crop rotation. This is probably going to be a Sajiri step. And also ramping here. Oh my goodness.
This is gonna be a Sajiri step and possibly even a combo piece like a Dark Depths.
No, it's going to be a planes and then the Sajiri step.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, Sajiri step to give it pro white. That's going to fizzle that card. Crop rotation gone. Dalibor is plenty fine on mana now.
Yeah, but that's the thing is now this Merit Lage can get endlessly blocked. I mean, technically, there's some stuff that you can do with like sacrificing it and then like bringing back this jury step with like the ramming up excavator. But you're talking about a lot of time that you're going to be giving your combo opponent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like the Sajiri step is just so important. And
I
I get
do
that the
agree,
reclaimer,
but I think you got to decide, is the Sajiri step allowing the Merit Lage to attack more important, or is protecting the Elvish Reclaimer, which is what's keeping you in this game, important? Personally, to me, with a 1 of Dark Depths and a 1 of Thespian stage, I absolutely protect the game pieces that I know will win.
yeah, I'd agree with that. I'd
Yeah.
definitely agree with that.
Plus, if you have to, you can just sack it anyway and then Rabbit Up Excavator it back.
What are we doing for 3 mana here? Knight? Knight would be really solid right now.
Yep, Knight of the Reliquary. So these creatures are huge. That Knight's a 7/7. We're sacking the Sajiri step immediately.
Yeah. That way, any Green Sun Zenith or anything like that is a
Bajuka
valid.
Bog. Oh, I love that.
Yes, because the Uro's in there. How many
Get out
arrows
of
we
here,
got in
Uro.
Malfi's list? 2 arrows, which I agree is correct, unless you're trying to, like, do a dedicated Uro plan. I think
Yeah.
2 arrows is the most I ever wanna see in a mid-range deck.
And
Unless you're
then
trying
we'll
to do,
see
like,
what
some life
happens
from the
here.
loam shit.
Like this is the hard part is that with having the fifth land here, this could actually be, you know, up to manipulate fate and food chain. And if that happens, then this game will be over fairly quickly.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It is entirely possible that this could be a very quick game 1 for Dalibor based upon, like, the fact that Yavimaya plus Elvish Reclaimer plus, Snide the Reliquary finds all your combo pieces on this next turn. But
Yeah.
my question is, how reactive is Malfi's hand right now? Do we have Swords of Plowshares? Do we have Prismatic Ending? Stuff like that.
Yeah. So we're gonna shuffle away the cards off of that brainstorm, and we're gonna go get another basic land here, which I believe this one will be an island.
Yeah, I think it's island. Yeah, there's 2 forests, 3 islands, 1 plains.
Yeah. Well, more to the point, he already has the second green source in the savannah. So
I mean, Food Chain does. Oh wait, have we had Manipulate Fate this round?
we have not seen manipulate fate this game yet.
Okay, so Manipulate Fate is definitely going to be the best setup card.
Ponder. Okay, so this is also pretty good because Malfi still can play those cards from his hand, although manipulate fate is just going to be able to get more of them.
I have to agree there. There, I just think that card is just so good. I just want to see more of
Oh, it's
it
so
because
bonkers
it is by far like the best engine piece in this card.
in
Well,
this deck.
setup.
Yeah,
It's the best fuel for this and the engine.
yeah. And then so it looks like we're going to keep the ponder, draw a card. So what exactly is going to be happening from here?
I think what we're going for is based upon like the mana distribution, might even be something like endurance because endurance just shuts down all those lands that are
Pass.
in the yard
Yeah. Oh,
and just like neuters them.
so on that note, Malfi does run one endurance in the main deck.
Yep, looking at it now.
So that would be huge if this is an endurance in response to something else. So this is a Green Sun Zenith X is 3. What do you grab here?
Uh,
I actually think this might be Ramen Activator and then just play the Sajiri step to give Knight Pro color and then smash.
I am exactly in agreement with that. And oh,
Oh,
free force of will.
that
That
must
is
feel
correct.
good for Malfi.
Yeah, ramming up excavator was definitely the play there. Find that, just get your value going. You can repeatedly sacrifice it to get more and more value. Like I that would have definitely been the play. Now, because of the fact that that Green Sun Zenith has just now hit the graveyard, like
I also really like the waiting and saving that for a Force of Will before you cast the Miss Griffin.
yeah, I agree with that. I don't think I would ever actually cast a Missile Griffin from my hand. I would always
Not
just
unless you
wait
had
to,
food chain out.
not unless I have food chain out, exactly. Hey, I would think it would always just be force of will fodder until I'm ready to just like go off, or I can just tuck it away with brainstorm and then manipulate, fade it out later.
Yeah. Casting the Shadow Spear. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, Malfi needs to come up with an answer for this soon.
Yeah, because of the fact that that knight will get trample and lifelink, but I mean it's still gonna die to the death touching of the snake.
Yep.
Unless, of course, if we have something, plague engineers are in the side.
Yeah. Yeah, so there shouldn't be any Plague Engineers for this game one. Fetch there, down to 17. Grabs another forest.
There's something to be said about stable mana bases in Legacy. Being able to cast all of your stuff every single turn does feel nice to have. It's the reason why I've
Yeah.
been kind of on like a 2-color kick lately.
Hmm.
Okay, what we got here? We
3.
just bring. Oh wait, Uro just got exiled
The
before,
one in the
so.
graveyard did, yes, but there is another one in the deck. Cast the
Oh
food
no,
chain.
no, we just go food chain.
Are we going for it? If this other card in hand is a manipulate fate, that's so gross. Exile that. Yeah, needs to pay 1 extra mana. Cast Miss Hollow Griffin. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, because this is
Infinite
the.
mana.
Yep.
Oh my god, had the
Oh, just
ballista!
has it. Just has it every time.
Wow.
You know who was saying
Oh,
tutor for the ballista?
yeah.
Just
Yeah,
casually just reveal it.
who
Just
needs
like
the
okay, I got
tutor
this.
after all? Just
Hey, I know
play
you
a
don't have.
mid-range plan against the fair decks and against the other decks, just get it.
Hey, I know you have like a what's it called? I know you have like no blue interaction. I know you have no free magic. This is game one. I know your entire deck list. So I'm just gonna just like free just actually do everything right in front of you and then just kill you. I would
Yeah,
have just like
exactly.
shown the two cards and be like, hey, I'm just gonna kill you now.
Yeah. So once again, going through sideboards here, Malfi's got 2 Carpet of Flowers, 2 Veil of Summer, a Collector Roof, a Flusterstorm, Meddling Mage, Sylvan Library, 2 copies of Containment Priest, 2 more copies of Endurance in addition to the one in the main. One of the I can't remember the name of that card. Foundation Breaker, a Peacekeeper, and a Solitude. Um,
Just run it
I
back. Just
yeah,
like how
I do agree with running it back there. I think having at least a 1 of Containment Priest could be very good. I really like going up on Endurances here just because it is able to take out the graveyard and shrink Dalabor's creatures.
Yep, I'm just hard on whatever like Malfi's been doing this entire time. Just bring in the containment priest, bring in the little pieces interaction. I hope Dalibor learns something and doesn't bring in Veil of Summer this time. You know, when we look at Dalibor's side, when we got the 3 Thoughtseize, the Tabernacle, the 2 Veils, 2 Chokes, 2 Endurance, Plague Engineers, Collector, Soul Guide, and the not Native Autumn. I really don't want those Veils even hitting the main board. The veils are just so meh like the entire time, and
Honestly,
like
I wouldn't really be wanting like the one card that I would absolutely not want being countered would be Abrupt Decay, which I don't have to worry about anyway.
yeah, exactly. So I'm right
Well,
now
that being
looking.
said, oh yeah, no, the Veil of Summer doesn't stop that. It might maybe on Malfi's end, but I don't know otherwise. So
Yeah, I'm definitely when it comes to the Dallas Wars list. I'm looking at those endurance, of course. The plague engineers are great. Is it time? Should we look at bringing these Thoughtseize?
I'm almost wondering if you need to, because
I think it might be.
yeah, I was actually thinking the same thing. I probably would be trying the Thoughtseize right now, to be totally honest.
Yeah,
And if
because
that's the case, if you're Malfi, are you expecting that to happen? Does
oh
Malfi bring
no,
in his own Veil of
you
Summer?
haven't seen him bring in the Thoughtseize at all this entire time. So
That's
because
true.
of the fact that like you haven't seen it, it's not going to be on your radar. I don't hate the Thoughtseize here.
Yeah,
Or like you just get been beaten up. They've been taking their time. Malfi's been sitting there behind its the walls of creatures. You know, get a turn 1 Thoughtseize in there. Disrupt the entire plan.
yeah.
Because right now, Dalibor just keeps on jamming stuff on the stack.
Actually, just thinking about it, I don't know if we've actually ever seen Malfi's reveal his hand this entire tournament.
Yeah, no, I think 100%. I think there hasn't been any like major hand disruption during this. So because of
Yeah,
that,
I could be wrong, but it's been a long day.
you know what? I'm kind of like a Thoughtseize here. Like I'm liking Thoughtseize. Of course, I'm like the plague engineers. I'm of course I'm liking the endurances and the chokes. You
Yeah,
don't have room for all of that, but you do have some room to clean up some slots. Like maybe instead of trying anything that you might have brought in for the veils, just put in the Thoughtseize. Is be the one that gets blown up by a veil, but your opponent's not going to be bringing in veil.
yeah. So it sounds like Dalibor's going to be keeping 7 on this game 2 of the bracket reset.
So if
And
Malfi
then,
takes this, this game's over. This match is over.
yeah. So, of note, the winner of this match wins the Invitational entirely.
Yeah,
Malfi can
it's
take this
done.
one game, and then he'll win the entire event,
Yeah,
which would be a
and
huge comeback story, too, because he got second place overall in the first Invitational.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, this Malfi has been a very much a bridesmaid when it comes to these invitationals.
Yeah!
Yay! Called it.
We see it. Ooh, that
Take the
hand seems
manipulate
really
fate.
good.
Take the manipulate fate.
Yeah, I think I'd be taking the manipulate fate there too.
You can beat bird, you can beat the sneaky snow snake. You take the manipulate fate. Chat, what
Yeah,
do you
the
think?
manipulate fate will grab the cards you need, and even if they just go into exile, Malfi can just cast them as though they were in his hand.
Chat, what are we looking at here? Yes, no. What are we taking the manipulate fate? We taking no, we're just taking the Uro. We're taking the Uro.
Yeah, I could see argument for the Uro. I still think I'd probably take the manipulate fate here.
No,
Well, it
I'm
depends because that
joking about
Uro's
the
able to
Uro,
come
dude.
down
We're
on
not
turn
taking
two
the
with the
Uro.
bird.
Taking the Uro is like taking the Luxodon Smiter. You just don't do that.
Well, I could see that. That being said, though, the Uro will come down on turn two. Takes a manipulate fate. There you go.
Correct answer. 100% correct answer.
And pass. So we're at 17 life here, and Malfi's gonna be able to just go here, fetch basic forest, birds of paradise, pass. Good old bop.
Yep. I I do. He's gonna just draw another fate. Of
Bauble
course.
steal, yeah.
Of course, that's
Never
exactly
didn't
what's gonna
have it.
happen.
So let's see what happens here if he's got the so here we go. Flagstones of Trocare, Swords to Plowshares on the bird.
Oh!
Ooh,
Oh!
we getting aggressive this game. I love it.
Stab that bird. No. You cannot have the mana advantage. You cannot have the mana fixing. Of course, Malfi just has, like, perfect mana in hand.
I actually really like that just because that you know that an Uro could be coming down next turn.
Exactly. Exactly.
Pass turn back. So we don't have an early reclaimer here.
Yep,
Here
and
we
then this
go.
is just
Another
gonna be a
fetch
hold up.
land. Pass back. Okay, so we're on the snow snake plan right
See,
now.
you have perfect information right now. You're like, "Okay, I know their hand. I know what they can do. They haven't had any extra draws, so I'm working upon, like, this whole assumption. I can execute my game plan effectively." Like, we just need a Plague Engineer right now and just put it on Snake. And are we just gonna pass?
Dalibor just went Heath pass.
Plays Heath pass. Oh, come on.
And
No
then
pressure.
fetch up island. So this is definitely going to be a snow snake here.
Oh, it's gonna be Sneaky Snow Snake. Of course it's gonna be Sneaky Snow Snake. It's the reason why I stopped playing Sneaky Snow Snakes because it's too mainstream anymore.
I am
Go
still a
back to
bigger
the
fan of the Baleful
OG.
Strix.
Yeah, go back to OG Baleful Strix.
Trigger, draw a card. Let's see. So now we have drawn, I want to say 3 or 4 cards since the Thoughtseize. So there's a whole wealth of stuff that Malfi could have drawn, including the Manipulate Fate. Deal says Malfi drew.
Yep. Yep. I do think that we could. A Manipulate Fate would be one of the top draws, obviously.
Plays
Oh,
another
Birds of
Bop.
Paradise isn't bad.
Plays a Tundra.
Get that recur that mana loss that you had because you're gonna want to be able
And
to bring back Uro soon.
yep. Deep in the tank here. Just a quick math. Crash for 1.
Do we?
Put Dalibor
I'm
down to
betting.
16.
I'm betting we got a crop rotation on end step or something like that.
Off of Dalibor. Yeah, I could see that for sure. Malfi 4 cards in hand. Hmm.
Yep. So my question when it comes to okay, we might be getting it.
Crop
Yeah, called
rotation.
it.
Yeah.
Called it.
Sack the
Okay.
flagstones. Trigger the flagstones.
What are
Malfi's
we
going to let
grabbing?
this crop rotation resolve.
It looks like it looked like it is gonna resolve. What are we grabbing? What are you thinking?
So we're going to grab the flagstones here first,
Obviously.
and then gets basic plains sounds like. Nope, gets savannah in place of basic plains. And then what are we going to grab off the crop rod here?
The crop rotation, I'm either saying Bajuka Bog to hit the what's called to hit the Uro. Oh, you know the Uro isn't
The
in
Uro's
there.
still in hand.
Uro is not in there.
Do you just get a wasteland?
I think you go. Ooh, Cathor.
Tabernacle.
Oh,
Ooh. Oh, that's sweet. I like that a lot actually.
okay, okay. I like that play
Then fetch as well. Then what are we gonna go get here?
because this taxes your opponent's mana, and Malfi just clearly played an extra mana dork to try and recoup that mana loss.
Yeah, grabs basic forest here.
What? Okay, what's that basic from? Is that like?
That is the M21 Garuk shifted forest.
Well, excuse me for not knowing that. You rattled that off like so confidently.
They are the land in the Garuk pack from Jumpstart.
Ah,
Yeah. Second
yeah,
flagstones here. Follow up. Malfi's got to pay for this tabernacle now.
Italian, the Italian tabernacle.
We need evil here. He'll be able to rattle off exactly what that is. It's his favorite card, the very specifically the Italian version. Oh,
Hmm?
wow. Uses the bop to pay for the snow snake.
Yep, yep.
Draw a card.
Oh yeah, excuse me, beyond sadistic. I am disappointed in myself for not knowing that where that forest came from. I am a green mage, and I just like completely messed that up. I am embarrassed and ashamed.
Uro, trigger, draw a card, gain 3 life. Interesting how he actually sacked it. Or no, he's okay. He's redoing his triggers here. Sack it, draw a card, put a land into play. So he did actually sack the Uro right away.
No land card are to be found though. Still
Smash for
behind.
1. Yeah. Down to 14. Okay.
You know,
Another fetch land. Oh wow, knight. Okay, this is a giant creature.
Charbel, that tabernacle has that comment on the tabernacle has thus been proven false.
Well, yeah, at the same time, I don't mind it actually, just given the board state. Like that was off of a crop rotation very specifically. But yeah,
Yes.
I do think it might be kind of slow, but having this knight here is very good.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah.
that being
Because
said, I think it just dies to like any removal right now.
it dies to a sneaky snow snake, hence the threat of it with the windswept teeth. Though I really doubt Malfi really wants to be fetching for basics because this tabernacle is going to pressure the mana.
Yeah. The other option here is just you go food chain and just win.
Yeah, definitely. That is the other option. The other option is 100% that you can just win off of a food chain.
Yeah.
We haven't had a manipulate fate go off or a forcible pitching the
Miss Hollow
griffin.
Griffin yet.
Yeah, so we haven't seen that, but okay, we are fetching in basic, but it doesn't take much to set all of that up.
Yeah. Hmm.
So my question is, what is Dalibor most worried about right now? Because Food Chain hasn't presented any of the other combo pieces or anything like that. I really do think if you're Dalibor, I want to swing recklessly in with this knight.
Oh, if you're in Dalibor's position, absolutely, I'd just be crashing in with this knight for sure.
Yeah, because the thing is, this knight, if it takes out that Ice Fang Coral, yeah, they're gonna trade, but there goes the body required to sacrifice, not to sacrifice, to
Start
exile for
training.
food
Yeah,
chain.
start
Yeah.
chaining with the food chain.
So I wonder if Dalibor is going to realize that and just start crashing it.
We'll find out. And again, Dalibor needs to win this game. He's
Yeah,
down right now.
Dalibor has to win this, otherwise, if Malfi takes this, it's game over. Or Invitational goes to Malfi.
Yeah.
Oh, just a
Pass
pass.
back.
I wonder
Not
if
even a land
Dalibor's.
play.
I wonder if Dalibor's going to try and find a Yavimaya with the Night Trigger, and then use that to then like grind out the advantage. Because once
I
you have a
could see that.
Yavimaya, you can just keep on like recycling lands and stuff like that.
Yeah. Cast
Ooh,
endurance. Oh no. Well, here's your
ooh,
fast clock going away.
yeah, that's gone. Is this Jury Step also in there? Or was that last game?
That was last game.
Okay.
And very important to note, you shuffle the cards, put them on the bottom. They don't shuffle into the deck. Pays
Yeah,
for the
exactly.
endurance, lets the snow snake go.
Exactly. I messed that up on stream where I thought I just shuffled in. Nope, that was incorrect. Okay. So, what's the land that you want most here? I think the answer could easily be Yavimaya.
Yeah, so it looks like we're going to have effects during upkeep. So this is paying for the endurance, losing the other one, and then this is just letting it happen now. So this endurance is now exiled, which very importantly, Malfi has no body to start chaining off now with food chain.
Yeah, exactly. That's the whole reason with what we were saying. You don't care if that knight trades because that body is what matters. It's never been about the power or toughness. It's always been about that CMC.
Yeah. And if he fetches up basic planes here, I would really, really like to see. Well, I guess that's not going to matter because you're not going to be able to hit the Sajiri step
Oh yeah.
or with the
Like
Sajiri step out, but because the knight's going to be able to go fetch it up. So you got to kind of be wary here about what exactly you want to do in regards to this prismatic ending. Or you could just Swords to Plowshares in response if he tries to tap it for something. Which looks like it's pass. Tap the knight, sacrifice
looks
the
like
basic
yeah.
forest.
Okay, so are we gonna Bajuka Bog now? Because there is an Uro in the yard now. I
Possibly.
I think the play is Bajuka Bog. Because you don't want that Uro coming back because that Uro can take over the entire game by itself.
Yeah, I like that a lot actually. Malfi
See
with
the
4 cards in
line.
hand. Malfi also has so much untapped mana too.
There's got to be something in hand that Malfi doesn't want to deploy. Maybe even like something like the Walking Ballista.
Yeah. Yeah, grabs the
Bajuka
Bajuka Bog.
Bog.
Oh, if this is endurance targeting himself, oh my god. Nope, right to exile.
Yep. Straight to exile.
Untap.
And we got two. We
Upkeep
got one land
draw.
in the yard now.
Black Thoughtseize.
Oh, see,
Oh,
this is
wow.
exactly what I was saying. The Thoughtseize make sure that the coast is clear because Malfi is forced to put the Sneaky Snow Snake into play right now or have it ripped out of their hand. So
Yeah,
now you know if it's clear to go in with the Nightly Reliquary. I'm telling you, I think Dalibor finally realized that Thoughtseize was a good card in this matchup and brought it in, and it is already showing up and doing work.
yeah. Oh, Dalbor tapping the flagstones, remembering up to pay for the tabernacle.
Mhm.
Veil of Summer. They did come in.
Oh
Oh my
my
goodness.
gosh.
Get got.
What? They came in
Holy
for the
crap.
Miser's Thoughtseize that you haven't seen the entire game? the entire match, you haven't seen a Thoughtseize throughout the entire 2 games, and you bring in the Veil? Oh!
Wow.
And I bet you he found it off that Ice Fang Kotal as well.
Yeah, it could be. And yeah, that is a good point as well. It also does
Okay.
stop the abrupt decays, which
It
is
does
relevant.
stop, the abrupt decays. That is a valid statement. It does stop the abrupt decays, but, like, damn! That was, like I did not expect to see that.
That was wild. I was not expecting that either.
Yeah, there are a few things that, like, make you feel quite as good as, like, veiling in responses, to, like, a black discard.
Uh-oh.
Oh!
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh! Okay, the thing is
Exile
that
for green.
we don't have any of the combo pieces, though.
No. Exile for green. Blue. This is gonna be an Uro. Oh, just cast the Miss Hollow Griffin!
Oh!
Oh my
Oh!
god! He's got it! Malfi has it!
Oh!
Congratulations! Right off the
Oh!
top there.
Just has it.
Oh.
Just has it and puts it on the table. Malfi is our season 4 invitational champion. That Veil of Summer setting it up.
Oh
Oh
my
my
god.
gosh.
That was
Oh, just
wild.
casually. Food chain. Okay. Activate. 3 blue. Miss Hollow. Boom. Throw out that walking ballista. Throw
Yeah,
out that
I'm
walking
not gonna
ballista.
lie, the stress is real.
Yeah,
But
just
still,
mic
Malfi,
drop done.
yeah. Malfi has been on the invitational grind for a full year. You know, this is season 4. Every 3 months, this is a full year. Malfi has been working towards this, and he finally managed to pull it off. Massive congrats to Malfi. Massive congrats to Dalibor. First invitational, making it all the way to the end of the upper bracket. Massive congratulations to everyone who played today. Thank you so much, everyone, for being with us this whole time.
Yeah, that was great, and for all of you that stuck it out throughout that, thank you. Thank you for being here, being a part of all this. This is important history here. We're talking about, oh, Malfi, who has just been on the grind, one of the OG players. Malfi and I have been playing together since the MTGPL existed. Like, one of the OG homies, and to see him come through all of this and to take it down, champ, congratulations. I'm so happy for you. Like, that was a well-played deck, perfectly positioned, sliced through the meta like it was nothing. You had tons of sideboards for the bad matchups. It was a great play, and Dalibor got that taste, got that hunger. You're gonna be in for next time, though.
Yeah, for sure. But anyway, we are the MTG Paper Legacy Discord. Exclamation point Discord in the Twitch chat. We'll get you a link to join up with us where we play Legacy all day, every day. LFG. We have monthly leagues. We have weekly challenges. There's a Sunday EU timed event starting up at, like, I know for me it's 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning. It's really good. I would highly recommend coming to check it out. Again, just make sure to swing by if you enjoy playing Paper Legacy at all. Thank you so much for joining us here today, and I believe we're going to be shipping this over towards NZD in a tournament that he's firing today. So, do you
Yeah,
have anything else to say, Doc?
come hang out with us. Also, stay tuned to listen in for the next podcast. We're gonna have Malfi on there now, our new invitational champion.
Yeah.
So we'll be giving all talking about it the entire time, get his reaction to the entire thing, as well as like get his like hey, why he chose to go food chain. So
Yep.
oh,
Thank you
no,
very
balls of
much.
steel. That's what our podcast is going to be for. The winner's interview, you'll be able to catch that on our podcast, the Legacy Table. And we'll be having like the full in-depth interview where we talk about everything about the entire run-up. So, stick around, join the Discord, and you'll be able to hear it then.
Thank you very much for being with us. Let us be your local meta. Have a good day.
Let's be your local meta, everyone.
That was fucking sick.